everyone, I hope you are having a great time. Today I'm reviewing this SMSL DO200, which is the special series that they introduced for Aoshida audio, which is AO200, HO200, and this DO200 digital analog converter. This one should be retailed just under $500 range. This DAC is the MQA compatible and as well as MQA disc compatible, featuring ESS 9068AS digital analog converter chips, which is a dual chips. So some may wonder why so many DACs are coming out from especially from Chinese manufacturers. They have to change the chip from mainly exclusively they've been using the Japanese chip, which is AKM chips, due to the fire in the factory and all that. So they got all the production delay and new design never been released. I'm kind of a big fan of AKM Velvet Sound digital analog converter chips, but they are delayed and they are still not catching up with the production and the new factory and everything. So they have to jump on this ESS digital to analog converter chips. That's why they are reproducing new version and revision and redesigning all of their products based out of ESS chips. This is like a sweet spot of all the DACs that you can buy around like 450 to 550 range. They can be greatly improving sound quality of your system if you have an adequate component to support them with. So I try with this Denon BME SX11, and also I try with that SMSL AO and HO200. HO200 sounded together very nicely when I'm using my headphone, listening with my headphones using this DAC. But when I try with AO200, what happened is the AO200 itself is very good sounding, affordable amplifier that you can buy. But when you want to compare with this DO200 outclass it. Okay, that's what I meant to say. So I switch over to this Denon BME SX11, connecting with XLR, Mogami XLR balanced gold cables. Then I'm using this Denon and this DO200, playing with the Audio Havana, and I went through a bunch of different music. What I like about them is very well reproduced, transparent sound quality with good detail, retaining very good detail, high resolution sound without being analytical, and really nicely produced very wide spacious soundscape using my KEF R11 speakers. Best of all, it provides really good stereo image. Like the music, when I'm playing my music, the vocals and voices are dead center. Like, when I'm listening all my, like Diana Krall or Dua Lipa or even Billie Eilish, its soundscape and scale, dynamic range is great. Best of all, it has a great stereo image. So that is my favorite part of this DO200. So let's go through the menu here real quick on this SMSL DO200 DAC. If you hit this control knob, it will take you to the menu setting, input selection, so you can choose many input selection, AES, I2S, and all the connections that you may need. So those are the connections that they offer. It's a good thing that they offer this USB at the #1 spot, which probably most of the people were using it. This output selection is really great. It has the all output selector, so which means all the output will be producing sound for your pairing component. You can even have the inverted connection, which is very useful if you use the Japanese domestic amplifiers or other products that you may want to pair them with. I'm going to leave it as the all normal. PCM filter, you can do 3 different type of filters, so which is more than enough for me, but I only use the first linear. This is SPDIF mode. This is how it's came from factory, so it's untouched. And sound color, you can change it, but I only use standard. Sound color, they have many different. You can even have the pre mode, but I only use as the DAC mode, which is the volume is fixed. And FN key for remote control. So there is the FN key on remote control that you can use for all outputs or switch between the XLR and RCA and Bluetooth, or even switching the phase of the output connection. And next thing is this DPLL. So that is the try to reduce the jitter noise and all that, so I'd never touch it, so lower the better. This is the factory default, so that's how I'm gonna leave it. The next one is this I2S mode, so I'm just gonna use at the normal. Then you can also use the inverted mode. Then I2S a DSD channel, so that is untouched, which because I'm not using I2S DSD flag, so I'm using standard. That's how it came. This is a dimmer. So the dimmer on these SMSL products, there is a whether you're going to leave it on all the time or you're going to turn it off. It will not do the dimmer. So that is the little information. The brightness is the minimum. That's how I set it. You can even raise it if you like. So this is where I like it, and you can reset it to factory setting. So these are all the inputs and outputs that feature on this DO200 DAC. This is the switch that's very helpful if you want to turn the unit off completely. The voltage is international voltage, optical input, USB input, coaxial input, Bluetooth input, and this I2S input. This is the AES input. So those are all the digital inputs that you can use with this DO200 DAC. For analog output, it has the RCA and XLR balanced output. So that is very simple and straightforward. Mainly I use this XLR output connecting to my Nano PME SX11 amplifier using this USB input. So those are all the features and functions that you can use with this DO200 DAC by SMSL Audio, which is Aoshida audio exclusive as far as I know. So they haven't released the retail price yet. Probably this my review, I've been using this DAC for a while, and I like DA9N. I had them way before they released, and I've been trying it out. So this DO200 is very well broken in and very well used. This one is almost like over 3 weeks now. So I've been listening to this DAC. What I like about them is like engaging sound signature, yet very detailed reproduction with precision notes. The upper mid-range area to high frequency notes are really reference great sound quality that it can produce. And late generation or later generation of all of SMSL products, they offer these DAC in particular, they offer very good definition and very good bass response, better than anything that I have ever heard in this price point. The bass quality and bass response is incredibly good sound with very good definition. So which is very impressive for me, or impressive to me, because I really love how they sound with this Quad S2 or my CAF R11, either of the speakers. This Quad S2 is very small mini monitor speakers, yet it has the incredibly, surprisingly good bass response in room response wise. So I tried both of the speakers, I tried both of my amplifiers. This DO200 is very good reference, great sound quality and features and functions that you can use without spending a whole lot of money. So put it this way, this is like a M400, SMSL M400 in cheaper price. That's how I will put it. The sound quality, detail, feature, functions, and everything combined, that is as good as M400. Sound quality, it will be only comes down to your personal taste and your preference. Personally, I slightly prefer this DO200 over SMSL M400, let alone different in price point. So that is my quick review of this DO200 DAC. But this DAC can be used in any environment, your home studio or your home theater, or even your headphone rig or anything that you want to throw them in. They will give you countless hours of music enjoyment with providing you with great detailed sound without being harsh or being analytical, still retaining musically engaging sound that you can enjoy listening to. The voices and vocals, I like it more than many DACs that I tried recently. So you might wonder, how does this DO200 DAC compare to SMSL SU9N DAC that I reviewed recently? I tried them back to back here in my system using KEF-R11. What I noticed is they are both offering very high in resolution and very good frequency response and engaging tonality with very musical soundscape and skill with the great dynamic range that is comparable. I was gonna do a back-to-back comparison video about these two DACs, but I decided not to because they are offering very similarity in sound quality other than features and functions, as you can see here. But when it's come to overall refinement, clarity, and clearer background stereo image, this DO200 totally shows the quality of its own. That's why I call it reference grade DAC in $500 price range. If you want to hear different type of music or different sound sample than here on YouTube, you can check out on my tabama.com, my website, and I will have all the SoundCloud links that you can play and you can listen to it. So that is my review. This is not released yet, so apparently they will release on 29th of October. So I don't know the exact price. It should be around like $490, $500 range. So which I think is really good price for the quality and features that you are getting or we are getting in this price point. Sound quality, I have nothing to complain. As good as it can be, if not better than many $1,000 DACs that you can buy in the market today. That is really good DAC, including the SMSL DA9N and this SMSL Aoshida DO200. So those DACs are really shaking up the market and shaping the overall digital to analog converters market in the today offering, because many DACs with the lesser sound quality and lesser performance, all the features and functions and measurements and all that combined, they are great buy compared to many others in $1,000 price range. If you don't need any other features, even like IME, AD, digital analog converters, this one is better buy, because if you don't need DSP or all the features that come with the RME DACs, this is the better buy for half price and probably better measure and better sound as well. So that is only you can decide and you can choose. I just given my inputs. I be happily live with DO200, which is, by the way, it has a really good synergy with my PMA SX11 and KEF-R11 or this Quad S2. So highly recommended, my friend. This is a one of a kind, high quality reference grade DAC that you can buy. That's it. Thank you for watching and happy listening.
One good reason, and I'll tell you what I think. Give me the passion without the bleeding, and I'll tell tell you why I blink.